Right, CS2 trade. I'm just going to do it here in practice on this Hamburg game against Cologne. Um, Not the best game in the world, really, but percentages are high for goals in the second half. But I'm only doing practice just for an example for this video. So I've opened up in practice mode here. Obviously, then you can play about it all night. It's not going to cost you any money. So you can just keep going into games until you get this right and are confident in what you're actually doing. So let me see what date is. It's the 5th of November, and we want Hamburg. There we go, and it's the correct score market. So if we just take this as if we were going to play this as a normal CS2 trade.
This event is now in play.
Let me see. Favourites. It's a pretty even game. 1-2 goals. I'll go for 1-1. I'll just go to the home team. It's not really. You're trying to find somewhere where that you have a strong favourite or something. At least then you can see which way to swing the scores. But I just want to go Dutching. And we'll just use £10 stakes. So what we want is 1-1, and I'll go 2-0. So as you can see, it pays like nearly 4 points for that. So we'll place our bets. This is low here as well for the scalping, which ideally you wanted in around 5. But what can we do? We'll just use your £10 stake and we'll get in the market there. So we know if we get caught scalping that we're a goal closer to our target scores, which is 38 quid, so nearly 4 points. So you can afford to lose 1 point, really. You know, if you do get caught, it's not the end of the world. Options on this is you can get in and out every couple of ticks if you wanted. You know, I could go in there and then enter again here and down lower if you want to get in and out. If you're watching the game and it starts getting a bit lively, generally I don't. I'll just take my 10 ticks and get it out. You know, so ideally you want to be down. What am I in at? 4.1, so it's about 3.1 will get me out. So I'll just drop that in there and let it run. That should be matched hopefully in the first 10 minutes of the second half. And that's basically it for your scalping. It's too low. You'll be in and out here in no time if you get in about 5 and coming out above the 4, because obviously they're in increments of 0.1. Now we're into 0.05 increments, which is longer. You need more ticks now to get out. He scored. Piscar is 2-0 up. I could maybe show that this game here at half time, but it's just basically for the example of the video. So as you can see, I've got my £10 scalp in there, but like I said, you have options here. You can take a couple of ticks at a time and keep bouncing in and out. I'm happy just to let it run like that. The game seems pretty quiet anyway, and that's my position. Now as the game goes on, you'll find that even look at the 2-1, it's 20-1. It's only going to cost £1, or sorry, 50p to cover that for scratch. Once we get this 0-0 covered, then you can start looking at other score lines. If they're massive prices, you know, just get them covered. But that's basically it. I'll pause this and hopefully come back when this starts getting matched, or I'll keep an eye on the stats anyway. If it starts livening up a wee bit at the start of the second half, I'll maybe get out a wee bit earlier and we'll jump back in and out till we get that 0-0 covered. So that's basically it. I'll pause this and come back then once this game kicks off again into the second half. Right, so second half's kicked off and we're basically 5 minutes in, and you can see it hasn't dropped a whole lot, you know, considering I have to get away down here. Like I said, the options are here. I could get out here and re-enter again and keep coming in and out, or you can up the stakes and try and take out, you know, it's riskier. I would do it sometimes, Like drop another one in there and drop one in there and try and get these matched in the next couple of minutes to try and get out of the market as quick as you can. But the only reason I'm doing that is because you have so much green up here, so you just reduce that green until these are matched. And now I have 3 points in the market that I could lose, basically. So it's riskier doing that, but if you want to get in now quick, that's the way to do it. But you're safer just sticking to the 1 point. It's just moving too slow for my liking, but it's just because this game isn't one that will be in anyway. It's just for the video, where within 7 or 8 minutes you're usually out of the market. So let's see, I'll take one there actually, and I'll try and drop another one above this and steal a tick there once this drops a wee bit. This should get took now. We still have a 1 out. Come on. Rio Ave again. Goal in that. Still not took. It just isn't a game you'd be in. Too many ticks needed. See, that's what Ryan was saying in chat earlier. Drop another one in here. As you can see, I'm down to £3 liability there now. So if I can take an extra couple of ticks, I don't need to go down that far anymore because I've got in and out. Try and take it here. And you'll see now I'm back to the 1 point liability on top of my original correct score Dutch. So I've only got the 2 points sitting here, the one that I originally on the £10 for the scalp. And you see I'm down to £2 now. So I've only 0.2 of a point. 3.4. And you can get in there to the market constantly. It's only going to go one way. The market, you know it's coming down. The longer it goes on, the 0-0 has to drop. So, you know, it's very simple. You know which way it's going to go. Just don't get caught with a goal. Otherwise you'll lose that point. So the game seems to be pretty quiet anyway. It's only been 1 on target and 2 off target in the 9 minutes that we've been in the second half. Very little money in here. I'll just pause this and hopefully this gets matched. Right, so we're 10 minutes in. It's usually in around 10 that it takes you to get out. So we're not too far off the mark here. Just want to get this one took. I just want to see this sitting at 0. Shouldn't be too far away now. There we go. So now I have my 0-0 at scratch. The target scores of 1-all and 2-0 with the 3.8 points sitting on it. And you can see now I've got my scratch here. So if we get a goal basically before 70, hopefully I'll be able to back that. Or you can scalp again, knowing that another goal is going to put you onto your green. But the lower it gets, it's harder to scalp. You're not taking as much Obviously with the price increments on the ladder, once you get down under 3, then they're working on 0.2s, and then obviously under even money you're in 0.1 of increments. So that's where the difficulty lies, where between 6 and 4 is the best to try and get. That's not usually where you're in and around. So excuse me, you can get that done that way. So, but we're scratched now on the 0-0. You can see I'm sitting in profit if I wanted to get out for 0.1 of a point, but sure, we're not looking to do that. All we want to do now is see a goal and see what options we have. The 1-0, I wouldn't worry too much about covering them. It's just that if you got a run of goals, 2 and 3 goals, you can cover the higher score lines. Like there's 30. You know, it's only going to cost you 30p basically to cover that for scratch, and the same on the 1-2. You know, if you were going to get 3 goals. And how would you do that? Back for a target profit of £10 and cover. I'll just do it actually. 2-1 and 1-2. And what's it going to cost me? 70p. You know, it's not even 0.1 of a point to cover them. So I'll just do it. And you can see this is what you can do. You can play about, once these score lines are well up, you can start covering more score lines. And we know if it goes like we want it to, goes to 1-0, we've got our 2-0 covered and we've got our 1-all covered, so we're covered for another goal. Now it's just reduced my green on my target scores for the cost, which was 70p basically. And now you can see I'm well covered. There's my 73p. Now I'm red here, so I could do another scalp here if I wanted to bring that back down to 0, but I'm happy enough to let it sit there. And that's basically this trade. But I'll pause it and hopefully we get goals and we'll have a wee look further on. So there's the 2-0 there. If you can cover it for what? It's 20 to 1, 50p. You know, 2-0. I've got 2-0. I'll just do that. And I would always just use this Dutchman. Let's see, 10. We'll go to 1073 on 2-0, 0-2, sorry. That's costing me 50p. Just covered. Then if it goes 1-0 away, I'm covered. In case it goes 2-0 away, where I had no covering before, and for the very, very little cost of, you know, 0.05 of a point, I'm now covered. And that's basically all you really want to be doing. If prices are allowing you to get in and cover them cheap, you can do it. You know, 34 on the 2-1, 36 on 1-2. Obviously we're not expecting a whole lot of goals in this game, but you know, you can cover as much as you want. It just makes life so much easier if you do start getting a few goals. And look at all my cost is in the 0-0, so if we don't get any goals, we're okay there. So I'll pause this and see if I get any goals later on in the game. Right, so 75 minutes in, still no goals. Stats are starting to really build now. Hamburg starting to put a bit of pressure on. Can we get 2 goals, which we need? Don't know. At this stage here, you really want to be getting cover on these 1-0s if you can. I just want to have a look and see what it's sort of going to cost me. I want to cover that for 11 quid, 11.29. I want to see what it would cost me to cover the 1-0 in case you only get the 1. So it's going to cost me 6 quid. So it means I'm putting up my thing here, but if we get a goal, we're not at a loss because the price is going to be too low now. If we get a goal, the price on the 1-0 is going to be about this 1.68 or whatever the price is basically on the 0-0 now. So we'll not get too much. It'll cost us too much to cover it. So they're 5.66, and that's going to leave me with about 0.7 there. 0.7 on there, but I'm covered on my 1-0s now. And I'll show you. Now you have different options through the game. Depends how the game pans out, but what I basically want now is 1 goal to give me a scratch trade here. I'm just going to have to take the hit on the 0-0. I just think there's a goal going to come, and by the time it comes, it's going to be too late. The prices won't allow me to do much on the 1-0 or 0-1, whatever way it goes, if it goes at all. But I'd rather do that and take the risk on the 0-0 than not. So if we get a goal here, we're only going to be one away from a target score of 2-0 or 1-all. So that's basically how that trade. That's all we could do with that. So lots of options as games progress, covering score lines. But of course you need goals, which we're not getting in this game so far, and it was because it was only an example. But I'll pause it and see what happens if we get a goal and see how the trade will actually finish out. But it's not a trade I would have went into anyway. It was just basically for the purposes of this video. Right, I just noticed there the Espanyol game. 1-0. We could do the same in it. 1-0 at home. And we'll try and jump into this one. Where are we? Espanyol. I want to see what the stats are, see which way we're going to back it. Pretty mixed, but Espanyol's the favourites at home, even though the stats are crap, but we'll go with that then. Espanyol, and we want correct score. And it's 1-0, so same again, it's very low. Try and get that scalp in there. Dutchon, and we're going to go for, let me see, go £10 again. 3-0 and 2-1, and that's paying 36, so 3.6 points on that. And from a scalp, I want to get this done as quick as I can on the 1-0. I'll stick 20 in, and we'll go there. So I'm in the market, and we'll do the same again. Just take a few ticks at a time with double. Put in double to get, because it's so low again. Again, we'd be in a lot higher than this if we were in a normal trade. So I'll just pause this, see if this Hamburg gold comes. Right, I've got this one matched. I'll go and double again. Try and get out of this one and get my scratch on this 1-0. There we go. Take another couple of ticks with this. That only had £3 on there, so I need 1, 2. That should get me it, I think, actually. Let's see how this game goes. Now the options. If we get a goal, say now, and it goes 2-0, you can go in and back this 2-0 just to take the red out. Also be looking at 2 goals ahead again. So if it was 2-0, you'd be looking at sort of any other home, 2-all. And these are the sort of scorelines you want to be covering in case it goes through your target scores, which is 3-0 and 2-1. In case we get a goal fest and it takes off, you really want to be trying to cover these higher scorelines while you can get on them really cheap. If you don't take action early, say it goes 2-0, if we don't take action early enough, it's going to cost us too much to cover these higher scorelines in case the game takes off and it goes crazy. You're better to get them covered for the cheap money than not. And if you hit your target score, you can start dribbling it off or basically green up. So that's your options in these sort of trades. So we'll see if I can get out of this one. Scalp. I'll pause it and come back again. Hopefully it gets matched. 85 minutes in, Hamburg have just scored. Now 1 away from our target score. So let me see. Right, and there you go. I'm out of this Espanyol. So I've got the scratch on my 1-0 here. So I'm covered there with no goals. If we get a goal shortly, we'll be in a good position. because then we'll only need one more for target score. Let's go back to Hamburg, and you can see it was the right decision to leave that on the 0-0. Even at that, it's still only 0.7 of a point that I was risking, so less than a point, and that was getting no goals. Now I've got scratch, and I'm one away from a target score, and I've still got over 3 points on my target scores. So if we get another goal, we're laughing. So late in the game, and you can see there, at least I've got my scratch on the 1-0, so worked out okay. Another goal would give me the green. So I'll pause this anyway and see what else happens. If I can get this game finished with, I think I've said enough in here to explain what you need to be doing. Again, the Espanyol scalp was done within 10 minutes, basically. As you can see, there's 55 minutes and we're in. We've got our scalping done over that 10 minutes. And your options are take a couple of ticks, get in and out, and keep jumping in and out of the market, or just do it all in one hit and take your 10 ticks and get out. So I usually do that because then you're busy looking at other stuff. So if you get caught, you get caught. You've still 2 or 3 points sitting on your target scores. Right, so kicking on 60 minutes in this Espanyol game. What you want to be doing is having a look and see what you can do. Can you cover anything else?
This event has been suspended.
So we'll have our 2-1, we'll have our 3-0. With no 2-1 cover, as you can see, it's so high. We can do that and see if there's anything else we want to look at while we're here. 1-3, unlikely, but at that price, it's going to cost nothing to do it. May as well stick it in. On 2-2, I'm going to cover them 3. See what it costs. Okay, so I want it back for a target profit of my £10, and I want, what did I say, 1-2, 1-3, may as well, why not? And 2-2, and look at that there, it's cost me 70p to do them. It's a no-brainer, just get them on. Because I had a wee bit extra on my 1-0, I'm still scratched there, and now I have cover on 1-2, 1-3, 2-1, 2-all, 3-0. Your danger's 2-0, but we get another goal. We're only 1 away from target. And what's it going to cost me to cover that? There's 4-1. Cost me 250, which I can leave on here if I wanted. We'll do that a wee bit later on. It costs cheaper, and we can swing across the red from here onto here. Maybe half a point and leave it on the 1-0, so you get another goal. Will not be too bad. Right, Hamburg has just finished 1-0. And there you go, 58p profit. So we got away with that one. But hopefully it's explained the options that you have during a game. If you've got high scores or high prices on some of these score lines, get them covered if they're costing you very little. Espanyol, you can see where we are there. I've scratched on the 1-0. I have a lot of other score lines covered again for very, very little cost. You know, I'm only up to £10.67, so I've only basically spent 67p, and I've got all these covered for scratch now. So I've got in a really good position to at least come out with no loss. And at the end of the day, I'm still just basically got my point level on these score lines. So I'm not going to do this video's going on over 20 minutes, so I don't really want to bore the life clean out of everybody, so I'll just stop this here. I've got the Hamburg one done, got out for scratch, and a good position here, so there we go.